Coming up on today's Philadelphia 76ers, now Tyrese Maxey talks about calling out Joel Embiid during that private team meeting. Is Nick Nurse's job safe, or is he on the hot seat? And we have some Kyle Lowry injury news. First, a programming reminder. Join producer Chip for our 76ers Grizzlies watch party tonight. And if you will be there and you'll be tuning in, I want you to type me down in the comment section right now. Chip's going to crush it, so be sure to support him. Tyrese Maxey speaking out. It's been a vocal week for him. Could make his return on Wednesday against the Grizzlies. And he talked about the 76ers team meeting, him calling out Joel Embiid. And here is the direct quote from Mad Max. I wanted to speak up. I felt the need to do that because I wanted to share that we are better than what we have shown on the floor. There was a lot said, but it is what it is. We said what we had to say. We have to figure out a way to move on to the rest of the year. Everyone understands what's at stake. Everyone is feeling the hurt. When they hit us, we were supposed to hit back. It was supposed to be a proverbial fight out there, but it wasn't. We kind of laid down in Miami, and that's something that we can't do anymore. Joel Embiid is not a leader. Leaders don't show up late. Leaders don't sulk. Leaders don't complain. Leaders don't fold in the face of adversity. Leaders speak up. Leaders lead by example. That's what Tyrese Maxey is doing here. He is a leader. And hopefully this is a new era to a certain degree of a leadership style within the 76ers organization that's been void. Joel Embiid hasn't been a leader throughout his entire career. He doesn't have that dog. He doesn't have the clutch gene. He's not a natural-born leader. That's just what it is. Here's what Nick Nurse had to say. We need to start winning. And there is no doubt about that. Monday night's meeting was brutally honest. Everybody wants the team to succeed, and right now we're not. We're losing, and there are all kinds of issues and reasons for why, and we're trying to get it taken care of. We knew at the beginning of the season that we needed to be healthy, and we needed to have some things come together quickly. Yeah, things need to come together quickly for the 76ers. The fact that they're one of the worst teams in the NBA with this expensive of a roster, it's a joke. Now that this team is finally getting healthy, does that signal that they can turn it around? What will this big three look like together? Can't wait to see it. I don't have a lot of hopes just because they've looked listless so far this year. And these meetings usually do help short term, but can the Sixers actually turn it around long term? Can they fulfill those expectations? Can they play their best basketball? Philadelphia hasn't won a game in 48 minutes. They haven't won a game in regulation. Their only wins are in overtime to the Indiana Pacers and the Charlotte Hornets. Other than that, a lot of red L's and a lot of blowouts. A lot of ugly games. How about this tweet? 76ers are 2-11. They're a half game better than the worst record in the NBA. 106 teams have started 2-11 or worse in NBA history. Just 8 have made the playoffs. Only 3 of those had a winning record. Sixers' work is cut out for them, and they've done it to themselves. So today's poll question is this. This will be the pinned comment. Will the 76ers turn their season around? Yes or no? Let me know. I always say yes to DraftKings, the best plays, the best odds, the best sports book in the game. It ain't even close. And right now, when you use the code SixersChat and you bet $5, you get $200 instantly in bonus bets. The Emirates NBA Cup is here. You can win big getting in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. All 30 teams split into 6 groups every Tuesday and Friday, playing for the right to advance in the single elimination in-season tourney, culminating in the NBA Cup Championship in Vegas. First time here, here's something special just for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SixersChat. That's code SixersChat for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball. And let's get the Chips pick. 76ers -3. Do they get the dub? Chip thinks so. Jaren Jackson Jr. under 20.5 points. Lines and odds subject to change. Joel Embiid, in facing this adversity, has to come through and show some fight tonight. As for Nick Nurse, is Sixers head coach Nick Nurse on the hot seat after the Sixers' dreadful 2-11 start to the year? I have said he's the best Sixers coach since Larry Brown. He was my number one option if the Sixers weren't able to hire Jay Wright. I'm a believer in him. I thought he did a good job last year. But part of the Sixers' dreadful start to the year, it lands on the head coach for not putting his players in a position to succeed. And the X's and O's haven't been there. The substitution patterns haven't been there. With the Toronto Raptors, he had rosters far less talented than what he has with Philadelphia. Yet here the Sixers are with a few max players, a pretty deep team, one of the worst offenses in the NBA, and they're 2-11 to start the year. What do you think? You let us know. The Athletic on Nick Nurse's job. The 76ers off to a worse start than anyone in the organization could have imagined, but there are no internal discussions at this point regarding the job status of Nick Nurse or President of Basketball Operations Daryl Morey. Multiple league sources told The Athletic. I mean, the Sixers extended Daryl Morey, and they want Daryl Morey and Nick Nurse to be a partnership. We want that to be a long-time partnership because having stability within an organization is very, very important. And I know that this year is kind of an indictment on Nick Nurse, but you know, he's done some good things throughout his coaching career. As a rookie head coach, won an NBA championship. He was the coach of the year in his sophomore season. They lose Kawhi, still went 53-19, 27-45 after that, 48-34 after that, 41-41 is last year in Toronto. Last year, 47-35. This year, 2-11. So he's won nearly 57% of his games with an overall record of 276-209. Chip, I think it's a little bit too early. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I think it's too early. And in my opinion, even if the Sixers had a disappointing year and they missed the playoffs, so they get to the play and they lose in the first round, I still don't think his seat is hot. I don't think he will be fired. Look, second year now with the team, a lot of roster turnover from last year. And, of course, this year's been a disaster. And, you know, Chase, you're right. Like, a lot of that does fall on the head coach for getting the players where they want to be. The players in this team-only meeting said they wanted to be coached harder. I don't know what that means exactly coming, you know, from the players to the coach, but maybe not quite doing enough in practice to put his players in the best position to succeed. And Embiid said sometimes he doesn't know what he's doing out there and what they're trying to accomplish when they're on the floor. So, clearly some things they got to figure out. But, look, Nick Nurse, throughout his entire career, right, has been one of the better coaches in the league. He's always known as a guy that can make great in-game adjustments. Now, this year, the Sixers have been a horrendous third-quarter team. I don't think he's done a great job at that, but we've seen what he's done in the past. This team's dealt with just ridiculous situations to start the year with injuries and Embiid suspension. They're losing all these games. They have the meeting. Like, there's a lot going on. So I think let this team kind of get back together and put the pieces back together. I think, especially right now, it's way too early for him to be on the hot seat. I love Nick Nurse as this coach. I think he was the right choice. I think he remains the right choice moving forward. I don't want him to be going anywhere at the end of this season, especially not right now.
Yeah, I mean, it would just suck, like having to make coaching changes, no stability within the organization. Keep in mind, this is the first head coach that Daryl Morey hired. He inherited Glenn Rivers. That was an Elton Brand hire. And so you want it to work because continuity within an organization is very important. So is Nick Nurse's seat hot? Hot or not? Play that game down in the comments section right now. And we leave you with a Kyle Lowry injury update. He was the one who called for the private team meeting after that loss to the Miami Heat. The veteran guard will miss at least 3 games with a right hip strain. Has not been good to start this year. There is no question about that. 6 points per game, 3.5 assists, 38% from the field, 35% from 3. This whole Sixers team, cold from the floor. That's why they're one of the worst offenses in the NBA. So, unfortunately, expect to see more of Jeff Doughton and Reggie Jackson. Tyrese Maxey coming back, of course, does help. You can continue to run a lot with Jared McCain. And if Maxey comes back, I'm curious to see what that starting 5 is going to be. If you made it to the end of the show, Real One roll call. Type Real One down in the comment section. Let's go.